Welcome to the Age Well Home and Lifestyle podcast. I'm your host, Kelly Bradley. I'm the founder of Age Well Home and Lifestyle. This podcast is rooted in one essential truth. To age well and thrive, we must be radically curious. Curious about who we really are, about what truly matters. Curious enough to question everything we've been told so we can finally design a life and home that reflects our truest selves. Here we treat life as our masterpiece. We see ourselves as detectives gathering clues, uncovering our deepest gifts, and consciously curating a lifestyle and home that is both healing and fulfilling. Join me for solo episodes and conversations with guests where I help us get closer to the root of living our best lives in mid-age and beyond. Anna is the co-founder and business development director at ARKA Cabinets, a Hillsborough-based custom cabinet shop known for its craftsmanship, design expertise, and refined approach to modern living. ARKA Cabinets specializes in high-end custom cabinetry for kitchens, bathrooms, and living spaces across the Portland metro area. Every piece is designed, built, and installed by their in-house team of skilled cabinet makers in Hillsborough. ARKA's mission is simple: to make every home stylish, highly functional, and perfectly organized. So today we're talking about custom cabinetry. And we have Anna here with ARKA. She's a co-founder. Anna and Anton founded ARKA. And Anna, you can tell me how long ago. But I visited the studio in Hillsborough a few weeks ago. And I love to see things made. I love when you can tell that product is made with the heart, on the heart and hands. I know Anton is the heart and hands of ARKA. So Anna, tell me more about why you guys started ARKA.
Thank you, Kelly. Pleasure to be here with you today. ARKA Cabinets, as you mentioned, is a family-owned shop, and we manufacture custom cabinets. Anton and I, we have not a very traditional background. Something you need to know, we have lived and had businesses in 3 different countries.
Mm-hmm.
And our initial business was actually in real estate. So we were selling properties in Europe. And it allowed us to travel the world, and we saw some phenomenal properties in Italy, Spain, Portugal. And I can tell you, it shaped our taste and appreciation for craftsmanship and quality. And when we started ARKA Cabinets, our philosophy as a family, as a couple, has always been, no matter where we live, if it's a rental or it's our own property, we always wanted the home to feel like our little oasis. It should be beautiful, it should be functional, it should be safe. So no matter what happens in the outside world, when we come home, we feel that it's our home, we don't want to leave. And that is a philosophy, and that's why we founded ARKA Cabinets. We want to craft beautiful furniture, beautiful cabinetry for your home. And we build it as we will build it for ourselves. And I think that's what our clients really appreciate, and what differs us from many other big box retailers, definitely, is just we build with our heart, and we always have you, our client, in the center of our attention.
And I felt that, when you walk into the facility, you have the design space, but then the rest of it is just this beautiful space where you're literally crafting things with your hands. So when somebody comes to you, and I know we spoke about this before, talk a little bit about the difference between prefab and custom, and why custom is so important to you.
Well, the biggest difference, prefab is a mass-produced product built at a big factory, millions of boxes. It doesn't allow for so much of customization, and custom cabinets is similar. You go to a tailor and you get a suit that built specifically for you. That's the same with custom cabinets. There will be no fillers, no gaps. You will get a set that perfectly fits your space. And it doesn't matter if you have sloppy ceilings, or your floor is uneven, or your walls are not even. It will look like it always belonged there. And one of another big aspect of custom cabinets is the amount of customization when it comes to function, because you're not limited by your space. There are so many modern solutions that can make your home practical and usable and very convenient. And I think it's very important in modern design. Design is nothing without function. It may be beautiful, but it also should work well, especially when we talk about cabinets. And especially when we talk about product like cabinets that is intended to last for 20 years.
Yeah. Yeah. And you use all wood, is that correct? Or mostly wood?
Yes, we work with different types of wood, and from the beginning of our company, before it was a trend, we always were adamant about using US made materials when it comes to raw materials. So that's true about our cabinet boxes and doors. Sometimes we also work with exotic woods like mahogany or purple heart. It's also possible. And if clients are looking for this modern glossy type of cabinet, there are some engineered solutions from Europe, some engineered materials that we can also build off. But the most, I would say like 90%, even maybe 94% of what we build is wood. And people in Oregon, they love our Pacific Northwest types of woods.
And you mentioned in the beginning about traveling through Europe.
Mm-hmm.
And I love that because I know I'm drawn to the European lifestyle. A little bit slower, more quality over quantity.
Mm-hmm.
Two things here. My brain's going to the European aspects of things, and it's going to the functionality of things.
Mm-hmm.
So when you think of European style, let's take the kitchen, for instance. What do you see as different in the European style compared to American? And then I want to go into the functionality too.
I would tell you the biggest difference is the size. You do not have such big properties in Europe, right?
Yeah.
Especially if you live in a big city like Paris or Madrid or Lisbon. And modern cabinets do allow, like I said, for a lot of functionality, and that is also something we are really good at, because it doesn't matter if you live in a small condo in Portland or in a large Westland home. There are ways we can work with your space and make it functional. Now, when it comes to design, I think in Europe it's a little bit more classical, and but again, there is Euro style cabinets. It's just a cabinet construction, and it gives you this modern, slick finish, was very minimalistic. So that's maybe, if you're not familiar, if you imagine like Scandinavian style, you probably have heard about it. That's what I mean. But also, some traditional with details, with decorative feet, with some molding. That's also possible.
And in regards to what you were saying in regards to size, again, if you're in a small space, if you're smart with that space, you can easily live in a small space. And I love that idea. Go ahead.
Yeah, you can. Um, there are different blind corners unit, so you never have wasted space in that area. Organizers. I always tell clients, nothing is better than clean countertop. So if you can tuck away all your appliances, all your utensils, all your cups, all your sponges, and nobody has to know that you have them, but they will be there, and they will be very easy to find because you have thought through design and thought through organization components of your cabinets.
Yeah. And that's where lifestyle comes in. And when I'm working with my clients in regards to renovating their spaces, it's about their lifestyle. How do you allow that person to live a better life the way they want to live? So helping them be really smart and strategic about every space. So there's a space for everything they need. I think that's one of the best parts about getting custom, is that you literally get to think about the lifestyle you want to live, and you have a place for everything.
Yes, absolutely. And lifestyle is different. Some people like to entertain and they need a large bar area. Some people have kids and they need a lot of space so they can cook and prepare meals. It really, there is a solution for every family, for every client. And at ARKA Cabinets, we actually have a professional interior designer who is not just a cabinet designer. She actually is very knowledgeable about everything. And that is the first question she's going to ask you, how you live in your space. And she starts to guide you through this journey of really understanding what do you love aesthetically and what do you need when it comes to functionality.
Yes, yes. And I love that. And I met her, and I apologize. What is her name?
Her name is Amy Hayes, and she is
Amy.
phenomenal.
Fantastic. I think it's so good because she knows your product really well. So even if I have a client, we're working on an aging in place or we're working on a certain lifestyle concept, coming in and talking to her and all of you, and I know you talk about it's a team project for everybody. She knows the specific woods that you use. She knows how Anton crafts things. So I loved talking to her about my own project,
Mhm.
which we will be diving into even more. That's a big reason that I went out to ARKA is because I'm renovating my own bathroom, kitchen, gradually one thing at a time, laundry room, and I'm going to be using ARKA. So we started the process of uncovering the woods that I want to use. So I get to experience your whole customer journey. And speaking of that, tell me what your customer journey is. Go through the process from start to finish, and some ways that ARKA is just different than other.
Yeah. We have two types of clients. We work a lot with designers, and we also work with home buyers who do not have a designer. They just manage the projects themselves, and that's a little bit different approach because sometimes clients just do not know what they want, what they need, and that's where Amy comes in handy with her experience and knowledge. But we always start at our showroom appointment. We have a kitchen built up with variety of different mass popular, but not clearly everything that we can offer, but mass popular kitchen solutions. And we have different cabinet styles, and we have a lot of different door types and materials and crown molding. So we allow the client to see, to test, to touch, to understand how it functions, how it looks, how it feels. And then we start to work on the estimate so the client can put together a realistic budget for the project. And that's the area I would like to pay attention to because sometimes some shops would price a job per linear feet, and they do not really spend time looking into the details. And the details is what adds to the cost. What type of crown molding you want. Do you need to do scribe into the wall, or you just want to have like a shadow lighting? Do you need under cabinet light? Do you need this and that? So all these questions that we ask to really get the client the product they want, we spend time and we prepare an actual estimate. We want them to be realistic with their budget versus giving them a ballpark and they will sign the contract and then we start making change orders and the price will go out of control. So I think that's why we have a good in-depth consultation at the shop with a designer, sometimes with Anton, depending on the project, and we put together a proposal and then we go into the design stage. So that's where we produce renderings, annotations, and 3D visualization so client can envision, client can make some changes, understand if they like it or not. Our renderings show exactly how the cabinets will be built. So it's not just some, oh, that's how it will look like. No, that is exactly how it will look like. So they have a good understanding of what they get in. And after that, we begin a fabrication process and then we do the installation. And we do installations ourselves. We do not outsource this critical step because sometimes, you can build really beautiful cabinets, but they install wrong and it's not the same.
And I've seen that happen multiple times. two specific projects coming to mind. And that's another reason that I love your company, is because you're with them. You're with us. You're with the customer through the whole process.
Yes.
And I feel like that is so important, because there's not a point ever that it's like, oh, no, that's somebody else's responsibility. And tell me about after installation, what is the, say something happens 2 years later, is there a warranty? Do you guys come out and fix things? How does that work?
Yeah, absolutely. All the hardware has warranty, and if for whatever reason something like pull out stops working, we come and we replace it. I can tell you that in 6 years, we had only once situation like this. We use really good European brands for hardware, and that is another, important moment where some places can cut the cost and using some lower quality products. But it's like, when you choose a car, you really look into technical specifications of your car. The same with cabinets. Cabinets will actually last longer than a car. So that's why we're very selective with what we use for hardware and for materials, where we source our materials. And if it comes to cabinetry, we give 1 year limited warranty on the cabinets. So if something happens, we'll go and we'll fix it, unless you purposely was scratching the doors with knives and kids toys. But yes,
Yeah. And kids can do that sometimes.
kids can do it. Yeah, kids can. And
As you
dogs.
and dogs. You were talking about, you have a son that's 12. But anyway, so in that customer journey, going into the studio to look and feel, because with wood, with our homes, I think often of the wellness aspects of things. So in the home, it's the texture, it's the smells, it's the healthy aspects of the materials we choose. Can you talk a little bit about, we talk about non-toxic materials, sustainable. Where is ARKA in regards to toxicity, healthy home materials, things like that?
I think it's important for us in Oregon because we have this set of values as a state. We really appreciate our nature and we cherish our nature and our planet. So, as a business, it is important for us, especially when we produce the cabinets that where you will store your food, your plates, your spoons and forks. It is important that the cabinet boxes are safe for you. And for that reason, we use not only thick plywood, but it's also UV coated with maple pre-finished interior. And UV coat is really important. Some shops would go with birch plywood, which is significantly thinner, but birch can develop musty smell with time and is not as durable and has a lot of gaps and it's not as ecological as maple plywood we use. And when you look at different proposals from the shops, like pay attention to details like that because that is exactly where they cut in cost, but it will be at your own expense. Do you really want to store your food in a cabinet like this, or are you looking for something safer and more durable?
Yeah. And that lasts longer. So I also think about, I don't want people just renovating their spaces to align with the latest trends. I want my clients, my patients to think about the health aspects of things, the non-toxic aspects of things. And again, your materials, your artistry, it lasts longer. So thinking about not having to redo things. Like I'm in a home that was built in 2003-ish and it was okay quality, but I bet you if it was made with a better quality wood, better thoughtfulness, more thoughtfulness towards the materials, it probably would have lasted a little bit longer, and I may not be wanting to renovate all of my cabinets right now. So thinking of the cost as also how long will that last? And not just for you in the home, but for the next person in the home. And just being smart with, it's not about always renovating to align with the latest trends, even though we'll talk about trends. It's what makes you feel good in this space, creating that, but also being thoughtful about it lasting as long as possible. If you get prefab, plastic, whatever, it might last 5 years and then it starts to deteriorate. So talk a little bit about the length of time your products last because of the quality.
Yes, and many aspects that come in play that will ensure your cabinet's durability. It's finish, how cabinets are finished. We use conversion varnish, and it creates this actual coat when it comes, to painted cabinets. And it's very long lasting and it protects the wood, but also the quality of installation. And the way we build our cabinets, I think I want you next time when you go maybe tour a home you want to put on the market or you look for properties for your clients, pay attention at the cabinets. Do you see seams between the cabinet boxes? Because when we build our cabinets, you will never see any seams. It will look like one monolith piece. And the way we do it is two adjacent cabinets share a style. So it takes a little bit more effort when we fabricate them and a little bit more effort when we install them, but the end result, you just look at one huge kitchen and you don't know where each cabinet is joined to another. And that ensures the longevity of the cabinetry as well. So all these things considered, it really, this whole process from A to Z, and it's very important to uphold the high quality standard at every step, because like Anton would always tell me, it's so easy to lower your quality and then you can never get back to where you were before. So for that reason, he is a control freak in this sense when it comes to quality.
And that's good for the customer. We want a control freak. Yeah.
Yes, and we also have really skilled guys who work at our shop, because it also, you have to have knowledge. You have to have an understanding of how each wood behaves, because they're different.
Yes.
And wood is a natural material, so it will actually expand or shrink depending on the temperature. So you have to think through everything when you build these cabinets, and you have to have in mind where the client is located, what the area you're building for. Is it a laundry room or is it the bathroom? All these things are taken into consideration at the production stage.
Yeah, because wood is a living, breathing thing. It's not something that stays exactly as it is in that moment. So for your company to be focused on each wood, the care that each person takes into handling each aspect of the materials, each wood acting differently, knowing how it acts. Also, the climate that we live in. In our climate, we have a lot of rain. We have to be mindful of things like that. So thinking of all those layers of quality craftsmanship and knowing, just like I think with food, with anything really, something is either made with love or it's made with negative energy. So I sense working with you guys that it's just made with love. And I choose that for clothes I wear, for the food I eat, for everything around me. If it makes me feel good and I know it was made with love, that makes a difference. So I feel like working again with a smaller, local, family-owned, and people who truly care about the product is so important.
Yeah, that's true. We love what we do. Find a job that you like, and you will never have to work a day in your life. That's really how my husband feels.
Yeah, and you guys have created it. Okay, let's talk a little bit more about the homeowner and what you see going into more homes lately. And I don't really like the word trends because I don't like to follow trends necessarily. I want people to come into a material, come into a home and sense and feel what they want and sometimes push away the trends. But what are the trends? What are you seeing with trends these days? What are people asking for? Things like that.
Yeah. Every client is different, right? And there are no wrong and right choices. You have to do what you love and you build the cabinets for yourself. Thus being said, I think when it comes to trends, natural materials and darker tones are definitely on trend. Just holistically, not only cabinets, but when it comes to countertop, you can never go wrong if you choose natural wood and some natural stone for your countertops, and you can have a combination of colors, but earthy tones are on trend. 2025 is a year of burgundy cabinets. Maybe not for your whole kitchen, but some bar area, like accent. It looks really beautiful. Um, Dark brown, green is really on trend. So all these natural colors that really are timeless. And what's really important, suits our Oregon landscape very well because your
Yeah.
home is extension of the outdoors.
Yeah. And I love, you spoke in the beginning, you mentioned the Scandinavian design. I
Hmm.
love that design because I feel like it just brings the nature inside.
Hmm.
Biophilic design, doing as much nature inside that we can. I know when working with people and uncovering what their design style is, whether it's AGM place work or just a wellness design,
Hmm.
again, it's that feeling that they get when they're around those materials or the colors. And I love that you mentioned the accent colors because I think too, as a licensed real estate agent, and you guys too, I'm sure, have thought about resale value. So thinking about, I know I often guide people, if it suits them, more neutrals, but textures, natural, organic colors, textures, materials, but then spice it up again, like you said, with a burgundy here or a deep green, mustard. Um, so I love that.
Yeah, and cabinet hardware never disregards the importance of good quality doorknobs and handles because it can really spoil your design and your overall product cabinets if you just choose something low quality. Yeah, it's really important, and it's like an accessory for your outfit. It's like your purse, your shoes. That's some opportunity. Even if you have some minimalistic design, you can go bold with some doorknobs and the cabinets will look stunning.
I love that. And when I'm working with my AG in place clients, people who were looking at the safety of their environment, again, my very first career was I have my master's in physical therapy,
Hmm.
AG in place work, doing assessments to think about the safety of homes. And
Hmm.
I love that again with your custom work, you can put lighting on the bottom of the cabinets to make sure it's
Hmm.
safe.
Yeah.
And thinking about the different fixtures that you're putting onto cabinets, I think about the safety. So not only the look of something, but making sure you're walking by, your shirt's not going to get caught
Hmm.
onto something. So
Hmm.
there's such a mixture of things, so many layers to think about. And that's again why custom is fantastic because you also don't rush people. You don't rush people. You're thoughtful in thinking, what are all the layers of your lifestyle? How long are you going to stay in this home? Do you plan on aging in place in this home? And then we can come to you and say, okay, these are all the things that we're thinking about. How
Yeah.
can you help us? And the transparency with your pricing. I know you mentioned this already, but oftentimes, like you said, you might get a price for cabinets. But are they putting into that all of those different layers that
Hmm.
need to be addressed?
Absolutely. And on this note, it's not only the safety but also functionality, especially, with older people or people who have disabilities, issues with mobility. There are so many things you can do. For example, you can completely eliminate any open shelves on your bottom cabinets and use drawers or pull-outs. So you actually don't have to bend to find something that you store in the bottom cabinet. You just use a pull-out and you take it. So lots of options we can build a cabinet around the person who lives in a house and what they need and what they what will really improve the quality of their life.
Yeah. And what are big mistakes? A few mistakes you see a lot of people make that if they work with you, it doesn't happen.
Well, that's a good question. I need to think about it. I see a lot of really poorly done cabinets. Even when we go to some higher end homes that are on sale, you can see that it was built not for yourself, it was built for resale. Um,
Yes.
Issues with finishing, issues with lower grade hardware that is already fallen apart and it will not last. And when it comes to cabinets, you use it every day. You use this drawer every day. It needs to function, especially if it's heavy duty drawer where you store your pots. That's some areas where people try to save money sometimes, or clients, they just simply do not understand, they do not know, you don't know what you don't know, and that's where it comes to us as cabinet makers. We need to educate our clients, we need to show them that's what you're getting and that's how it will last and that's how it will work, so a buyer can make an informed decision whether they need it or not. But I think when it comes to design and choice of materials and colors, that's very subjective, right? But it's mostly around the quality and the components that are in cabinet that just do not, we know as professionals when we see it, we know like in 2 years it will not look the same. And
Yeah.
that is, I guess, really painful for the homeowners because they get really frustrated.
And I feel like, again, working with a family owned business, you enjoy the process more. I want people to enjoy the process, even though it can be a stressful, there's a lot of decisions. You can get decision fatigue when you're renovating or redesigning a space.
Yeah.
So to have a team that's there to help you stay calm. So as we're moving through the process, so if I start working with a client, we're talking about lifestyle design, and then we move into thinking about the safety and the function, and then we come into your studio and we look at the different types of woods, how they fit together. And again, I love that detail with not being able to see the little in
Seems.
between the seams between the cabinets, just all the choices, but not getting overwhelmed. And I want people to think about that custom doesn't mean, oh my God, so many decisions. It puts the power in their hands to really be thoughtful about lifestyle, safety of the home, longevity of the home, and the independent style of each person.
Absolutely. Custom cabinets are curated cabinets, and we help you not to get overwhelmed because, like I said, we have a professional interior designer who can help and work with your designer because she's also very knowledgeable about the cabinet construction. And we also have Anton, who is a guy who will control the production of the cabinets, and he can see some issues that maybe with a design, like it will not be possible in this space because of this and that's how we can adjust. So it's always a teamwork, and that's what our clients, especially designer clients, appreciate.
Yeah. And like you mentioned, you don't know what you don't know. And you can't be an expert at everything.
Absolutely.
So having somebody to thoughtfully inform you about what you do need to know to make the best decisions possible.
Yeah. In some clients, some may have a little of prejudice, I guess, working with the family owned shop because they think, oh, it's just like small production and maybe they're not that professional. But that's really not the case with us. In our background, in our level of education, in our skilled team, we really professionals when it comes to cabinets and design.
Yeah. And also, how neat if somebody's local. So, again, your facilities in Hillsborough,
Hmm.
how amazing to go in and see your cabinets being made. You can literally see the love again that's being put into them right here in Oregon.
Yeah, yeah. And we work in Portland metro area, but we also have quite a lot of projects on the coast. And some new emergent cities. People are moving from Portland to Dundee, people are moving to McMinnville, and we serve these areas as well.
That's great. That was a question I was going to ask. How far is the farthest that you travel?
Yeah, I would say like maybe within 2 hours from Portland Metro.
Fantastic.
Hmm.
I highly recommend everybody look at your website. I was going through that in the past, but I went through it again this morning. And just looking at its kitchens, its bathrooms, it can be things around the fireplace, fixtures around the fireplace. It can be little details. And again, you show the details of the cabinets coming out, the functionality of things. So definitely check out the website and tell everybody how they can get in touch with you if they want to start the process, what they can do to find you.
You can find us using the contact us form on the website. You can give us a call. I encourage you to follow our Instagram page for inspiration and some educational materials. We also recently started a Pinterest page
I saw that.
so people can find some inspiration photos for their next project and just stop by. We're always happy to meet people. We do different types of cabinets, Euro style, inset cabinets, frameless, face frame, you name it. Your the world is your oyster. We're here to work with you. We're not scared of crazy design. We're not scared of some simple projects. We just love it all.
And it's arkacabinets.com, correct?
ARKACabinets.com.
Yeah. And I also like that when you sign up for an appointment, you actually have time blocks. So you sign up and you can come in to talk to the designer, see the space, and it's just you and the professionals. I love
Yes.
that. That's not random. You don't know if you're going to be able to talk to somebody or not. So people can sign up for a time slot and get personalized attention.
Yeah, it's always one-on-one. It's always in-person meeting where you get our full attention. So we really understand your project, who you are, what you're looking for, and we can serve you well.
I love it. And again, for my own situation, which I'm excited to get started with, we're starting with the laundry room, then primary bathroom, and then going into the kitchen and living space cabinets, not all at once. But I'm so excited to do more and more with ARKA. Anna, thank you for all that you do. And starting a company again with heart and soul and really putting the love into everything you make. I feel like in our busy world today, we forget the details. So to go back to what I think of as the slow living or European lifestyle, just slow down. It's about quality over quantity. It's about relationships and connection. And tell me if I'm wrong, but I would think you stay connected with most of your clients kind of long term.
We do, and when clients move, sometimes they come back to us and say, I need another kitchen, or they do kitchen and then they come back because they want to renovate bathrooms. We have a lot of clients that come back for more and more cabinets, and clients who refer us, contractors who started working with us and they don't want to work with anybody else. We 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 are part of this community and we love our clients and we are here for the long run. We're not going away. So come to us. We'll build some beautiful cabinetry.
Well, thank you, Anna, and I will see you soon.
Appreciate it. Thank you, Kelly. And I'm looking forward to working on your cabinets.
Right? Oh, I'm so excited. Have a wonderful day, and thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks for tuning in to the Age Well Home and Lifestyle podcast. If this episode sparked something in you, share it with a friend or family member. Let it be the start of a real life, meaningful conversation because that's how we grow together. And I'd love to hear from you. What topics are you curious about? What questions are on your mind? Reach out and let's keep the conversation going. Until next time, stay curious, live true, and keep creating a life and home that's aligned with your truest self.